This is Roger Struckoff with Syscon TV at Cloud Expo East in New York in 2016. And I almost ran out of breath there because I'm so excited here in day 3. We've been talking about analytics through this entire show, and it's just been a fantastic discussions that we've been having, including this morning's keynote. And we have someone with us now, Leo Vasiliou with Catchpoint Systems, who's all over the topic. So, Leo, thanks for joining us. What should we talk about in that realm? Performance analytics, and I think we'll eventually get to the user experience as well.
Well, Roger, just want to say I'd seen some of your previous interviews, so very excited to have the time with you this morning. So you're very passionate about what you do here. So, but getting to the heart of the matter, you know, what really we're talking about is just a growing demand from users for things to be faster. So when you think about all of the transactions or interactions users will have with your product and everything that is in between those transactions, those interactions, and we kind of talk about this concept of customer experience. What really drives us here at Catchpoint Systems is the idea to kind of measure that, and we talk about the concepts of performance and the many ways to kind of analyze.
Well, isn't it amazing? The faster you go, the better you do, the more people want. It's cruel and ironic, but it's just sort of a never-ending thing. And I think now, though, if we sit here in 2016, it seems to me like vast improvements have been made in just the last 5 years. So what's your view?
It's funny you talk about kind of that cycle of growing expectations feeding into kind of this transformation that we're seeing, and then driving adoption of, you know, various cloud services, for example, feeding back into the growing demand for customer experience, right? So if you think about, let's say, for example, how distributed these types of services are becoming, right? How do you measure the performance of that and make sure that these things are doing what they're supposed to be doing? So as a little anecdote, what I would offer to you and the folks watching is the next time you go up to a counter, order a coffee, you know, wherever you happen to be, drive through, whatnot, and the young man, young lady says, "What can I get for you?" Don't say anything. Okay. And start counting Mississippis. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi.
Timing, yeah.
And I bet you before you get to 3 Mississippi, they'll probably say, "Hello, what can I get for you?" Because we're you know, at a real fundamental level, we're talking about the performance of that interaction. So it's really the kind of the concept of the outside-in perspective from the customers and everything that has to happen on the back end, on the tail of that, to make sure that from that perspective that things are doing what they're supposed to be doing. And then you think about kind of the sprawl and distribution of these services, the Internet of Everything, the Internet of Things, and it's really, you know, if you remember Bring Your Own Device and how that kind of started, and you know, various IT and teams had to kind of react to that. Same thing, just sort of the next generation, really.
You know, it's funny, when the original Shadow IT PCs started to sneak into the offices in the 80s, you know, people talked about that for about 10 years. This was a phenomenon for about 10 years. Whereas BYOD was the topic like 2 years ago, and now it's passé. Now we're just moving on, you know, and then after that was serve your own device, you know, they give one to you. And so it's amazing how quick the trends change as well. So in your world, why is what you're doing in the area of performance analytics superior or equal or better, or why do companies come to customers come to you, and what do you give them compared to others out there?
So we do like to talk about ourselves as a younger, more contemporary, agile, 21st century type of company, and usually the companies that have been around longer than we have, you know, they accumulate all of this technical debt, and they become entrenched in, you know, older systems, older designs, and older ways of thinking and doing, so to speak. Yeah. Right? And what we do is we have the opportunity to really bring just more modern ways, more accurate ways of measuring the performance. And whether we do that, with an active type of monitor or a passive type of measurement, for example, from performance, it's really the concept of data going into our engine, transforming, changing into information, and the various ways to retrieve that information. And so instead of, like, for example, predefined views or predefined ways to consume this information, full customization and design based on really, beauty's in the eye of the beholder kind of thing.
Right. Without telling me what you can't tell me, sort of your customers, is there a typical one or a range of them? What sort of people, do you serve, and who do you expect to serve the next few years?
So we do we do coin the phrase your kind of your monitor or your measure of performance needs to be as distributed as you are, which is why we have over 500 nodes in various backbone locations around the globe to kind of measure from that outside-in perspective. The people that will generally use tools like Catchpoint will generally be your DevOps, your production operations, people that support your websites or manage your API services, your DNS infrastructure, your CDN, your cloud implementations. However, the consumers of the information that comes out of that will be anybody, any class or any grade within any type of organization.
And so speed informs the customer experience. What else? Simplicity, or, it's difficult to sort of harness the power sometimes in a simple way that's powerful. How do you do that?
That's right. So whether you kind of get information out in an automated way, or you see something that catches your eye and you go into the analysis module and dig around to try to mine for gold, so to speak. It's the idea of this idea of slicing and dicing based on various dimensions and breakdowns is really kind of what's at the heart of this. So when you measure, for example, performance data from a global view, and then you say, let me look at peak times for European Union versus North America, you'll see that the subsets, the patterns in those subsets of data is actually different than what was presented in that global view. And so if you think about now all of the attributes of the user condition that go into the delivery of that performance data, it's really the power of being able to slice and dice on those different dimensions and attributes relative to that customer experience is what's at the heart of kind of why we get up in the morning.
How do people find you online? What's your URL?
Please visit us at www.catchpoint.com, and be sure to check out our blog.catchpoint.com.
You got the name Catchpoint.com. Good work. Good catch, so to speak.
Yeah, so to speak.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for joining us. Thanks for watching. For Syscon TV, this is Roger Struckhoff.